Hi guys, welcome back to the last Latin 2 for the week. Today you're going to spend most of your class time taking the translation quiz for chapter 20. So if you haven't done that, I would pause this video and do it now. But the way I write the form, this video will be at the bottom anyway, so you've probably already taken it. But if not, remember you need to take it, and I'm going to be drawing from one of these lectiones, and the one I write myself will reference one of the sentences from the video on last Wednesday, which you'd have to dig through my YouTube channel to find, but I might repost it. I will be underlining at least one or two fourth declension nouns, asking for their case, and that will be a little trickier than normal just because those fourth declension endings are new. So make sure you look over those. All right, let's finish up the story. We actually only have three sentences left. It's just that the middle one, actually, yeah, the middle one's kind of long. The second one is a semicolon or a couple semicolons. Okay, but it shouldn't take too long. All right, so this one, there's nothing much to this. Troium is the only thing I need to color code, and I'm coloring it a dark red because it's an accusative object. This is the accusative of place toward, which we haven't officially gotten yet, but it's really just the same as any accusative that has the preposition ad as its that it's the object of. But ad isn't here. That's really the only difference. But you should be able to know this anyway because Troium is accusative and it's a place. So we're going to go to Troy, or somebody's going to go to Troy, or be sent to Troy, or whatever. And then for the very first part of this, the only thing that can trip you up is that you need an expletive construction to actually get into this translation. So we end up with there are other wars, altera bella erunt. There are other wars, however, etiam. And so atque great Achilles, Achilles is at the end there, but he is the subject. Great Achilles, Magnus Achilles, will be sent, because this metator is our third conjugation passive, okay? I don't think I put the macron on the reading, which wasn't great, because that's what you're going to be looking for, especially now in third and fourth conjugation verbs, to tell you that they are future. You're going to look for an E, usually a long E, though not in third plural. But yeah, just if it was an E at all, it should be future. If it was I, it would have been present passive. So this is one of the new things from this chapter is us being able to recognize that is future future passive. It's pretty tricky, so I would not be surprised if you thought that was just regular present passive. But so great Achilles will be verbed, will be sent to Troy again. And so this wasn't too grammatically bad, but you might have thought you made a mistake or something just because you might be thinking like, well, what are they talking about? Virgil in this little passage is taking us through the previous mythological ages, and he's saying even after this prophesized child is born, they're going to cycle back to the times when wars are super prevalent. So it's like the cyclical kind of thing. And that's where we left off last time, where he was saying eventually vices will lead men to travel the seas and to trade and stuff like that, to go to war. All right, we have another one here. Ubi autem hunc puerum virum fecerit fortis aetas maria relinquintur lectoribus nec nautai pecuniae causa merces mutabunt. So the weirdest thing about this is the thing that I'm immediately underlining and pointing out, and that is that our subject Fortis Aetas is buried. And not only that, you might not have realized that those two go together. This is mostly coming from a note. I mean, even I looked at the note here, and that's what led me to understand that this was the nominative. So a strong age, or a what's the other way that the book puts it? Let's see here. A mature age, a strong stretch of years. So yeah, Fortis, Itos is at third declension nominative, and Fortis is a feminine slash masculine third declension adjective ending in the nominative. But once you put that together, it's not too bad, though we kind of have a dual direct object going on, which could pose some issues. And then fecerit is future perfect. That is the rare future perfect that we never see. And it's color coded to show this, but hunc puerum is the actual direct object, and then virum is like an object complement to it, as in something is going to make a direct object into an object complement, if that makes sense. So what I got for this would be when, however, a strong age or mature age will have made this boy a man. So yeah, Fakio, as well as we have a couple verbs now that can sometimes take basically dual direct objects. Like I said, technically we would probably think of Wiram as an object complement, but yeah, it could be confusing to your eye to see what looks like two separate accusative nouns running into one another, and hopefully knowing what Fekarit should be translated as would clear that up. All right, so that's the first clause. And then let's see, the second one is not too bad. It'd be the seas will be left behind. Relinquentur will be verbed. This is our future passive. This e would not be long, but if this was present passive, and relinqua is third conjugation, so that's what this chapter is about, then that would be, let's see, it'd be an IUNTUR, I believe. Let's see. It'd just be a UNTUR because this is not an IO third conjugation. So yeah, it's those third singular and third plural endings that are going to trip us up a lot when looking at the passive endings of third and fourth conjugation. But they're giving us some good examples, and that won't be the last one that we see. So the seas will be left behind or left by seafarers or sailors, factoribus. So that is a ablative of agent. I need to add that. So that describes who the C's are being verbed by. And then this last one's a little weird because we're not used to seeing a single neck used in the way it is here, where it's used as though there are two necks, like a neither nor kind of thing. But we're kind of having to intuit that on our own based on the fact that we have two nominatives. We have two nominative plurals, nautai and merkes, closer to the verb, are both nominative plural. They can't really be much of anything else. And then to top that off, to make it even more difficult, pecuniae causa is once again that really specific construction where we have an ablative with causa specifically. So just be on the lookout for when causa is in the ablative. It'll often be because it's a part of this construction where it's going to be translated as on account of, and then it has a genitive preceding it on account of the genitive of money. So we would translate this as neither sailors nor merchants will be changed on account of money, which is like a way of saying that they're not going to be acknowledging currency, like man made currency, anymore. But yeah, it's like we have these two subjects sandwiching this ablative genitive construction, and then we have a future passive verb. Um, oh wait, that's not actually passive. Whoops. Okay. Ignore most of what I said in the last minute. Okay, so neither sailors will exchange goods. So merkes is actually the direct object. I wasn't seeing that. I looked up in the back of the 38 Stories dictionary. A mute could be exchange in addition to change, which kind of makes sense. So they're just exchanging goods or merchandise, which is merkes, on account of money. So that makes that way less weird. We're still not used to seeing the word neither show up in a sentence like this where there hasn't been like a previous like setting up a list of things that are kind of negated in some sense. But other than that, this is not as weird as I thought it was. Sorry about that. All right, last one. Robustus agricola taros iugo liberabit non rostris tengitor humus omnis terra omnia ferret. So this isn't too bad. Yugo should have a macron that might help a little bit. But the hardy farmer will liberate the bulls from the yoke. And just in case you don't know what a yoke is, this is not an egg yolk that's spelled with an L. This is that wooden frame that you put over the shoulders of bulls or cows. They can attach things to it so that they till your land. And Roman poets love this as a metaphor. It shows up all the time. It can be used in different ways metaphorically, but you just get the sense of how common an image this must have been for Roman people, going off of how much it shows up in their poetry. So the hardy farmer will liberate the bulls from the yoke. So iugo is ablative of separation, which we should be on the lookout when we see a verb like liberabit. The earth will not be touched by rakes. So non rostris will not be touched. That's future passive. Once again, that is a third conjugation future passive simply because of the long E. Touched by rakes. And then all lands produce all. So yeah, he's talking about once again there's a return to some kind of golden age that the passage is titled after. All right, guys. Good luck on your translation quiz if you haven't already taken it. And if you have, I hope it went well, and I will have it graded sometime next week. And we'll actually be able to finish up 21 at the end of next week. So that's exciting. We're moving right along. All right, guys, have a good weekend.